Good day to you. You know, South Africa for the longest period of time had this system in place called apartheid. Do you know about that? That's where blacks were separated from whites. They were said to be separate but equal, but in actual fact, blacks didn't have access to government, blacks didn't have access to wealth, blacks were living in a second tiered system until apartheid was finally done away with in the 1980s. And so now South Africa is looking towards its media policy to help unify the nation, to help present a brand new South Africa to the world, a South Africa that is no longer a division between two races of people, but one in which you have multiracial identities of people forged into a national identity. And so this chapter is a little bit different from the other ones that take this chapter taking on South Africa. And it focuses also in a different way on a particular area of content. If you read the chapter, you know it focuses very much on soap operas and the importance of the soap opera in a post-apartheid South Africa to help resurrect the nation. And the soap opera is a local idea. It celebrates local culture, just like if we had a soap opera in Pennsylvania, it would celebrate what's it like to be a Stroudsburgian, a Monroe Countyan, not to be an American, a Monroe County. What kinds of typical things do we get up here in Pennsylvania with skiing or hiking or foods that we eat? Lots of pizza, for example, in the year. So soap operas are seen in South Africa as a way to advance a national identity. The biggest company in South Africa, broadcasting company, is a public broadcasting company called the SABC, or South African Broadcasting Corporation. It was based on the BBC model, which was also the model that was used for the CBC in Canada, and you find that throughout British colonies, right? South Africa was a British colony, and so it's copied the BBC model, which is to raise money for its public service broadcasting through license fees, and then to make that public broadcaster a very strong force in the overall landscape of offerings. The soap opera that is the most common, though this is not the only soap opera in South Africa, is Uzalo, and it has a colon, and then the subtitle, Blood is Forever. That's the soap opera that's most common in South Africa. And the soap opera itself is seen as a perfect form of television, not just in South Africa, but all over the world. The soap opera lends itself to TV because it's a story that can be told in 1 hour, and the visual presentation of television makes storytelling of two characters in a frame about to kiss or shoot each other or run away with each other. That soap opera and the drama, the story structure, it just works perfectly in television. The previous model for soap operas, prior to how soap operas are being developed now, was what was known as a community model. Britain developed the community model, and that's where everybody in the soap opera is part of multi-generation families that all live in the same neighborhood, and they're all knowing each other, and the soap opera actually crosses across actual generations of people in terms of viewers. Carnation Street, which is still a big soap opera in Britain, started in the 1970s, but you still have younger generations watching it, and the actors who are in there are supposedly related to actors who were in previous iterations of that. That's a community model that's changing now with the South African exploration of soap operas to make them about local culture, where it's about local culture, but the local culture is changing. It's dynamic. South Africa's taking on a new personality, so to speak. So on the TV side of things in South Africa, SABC, again, that's that Public Broadcasting Corporation, it dominates. It captures 60% of the TV market in South Africa. It's got 3 channels, SABC1, SABC2, SABC3. Each one you can read about in the chapter has its own genre that it specializes in. And then you do have a commercial broadcaster, ETV, in small letters. ETV is a commercial broadcaster in South Africa, competing not very strongly with the mighty SABC. And once again, we see in this model of the BBC, we see a stronger weight given to public broadcasters than commercial broadcasters. In the US and Japan, it's the opposite. In these public sector broadcasting industries that we have very strengthened inside of European countries and also Canada, it's the opposite. There was some legislation passed in South Africa which drastically influenced the media landscape. You've got the SAB Act, the South African Broadcasting Act in 1999. You've got the Electronic Communications Act passed shortly after that. And both of them were designed to promote South African identity. What do people think of when they think of South Africa? Do they even think of it as Africa? So these two acts were designed to stimulate content that would be local and would showcase African languages, African foods, South African languages, South African foods, I should say. The second goal of this legislation was to sustain independent production in South Africa, to give local production companies a chance to compete with really big production companies that are all over the world. Local content is incentivized in South Africa through many different ways. You've got this very complicated system of counting broadcast hours. You can read about that in the chapter. And certain programs are rated, and more local programs get more funding according to this formula. That's a way that the South African government tries to incentivize the use of local content to promote South African culture. And there are other methods as well for incentivizing that you can read about. Uzalo is a very unique soap opera because it's actually written in English. It's written with English scripts, but then it's recorded in Zulu languages, in the Zulu language, which is one of the many languages of South Africa, and there are subtitles so that people can learn English while they're also hearing South African, but the script, while they're also hearing Zulu, but the script is written in English to try and infuse a way of storytelling into the soap opera that follows an English structure, an English sentence structure. Also, the soap opera is shot in Durban. That's a city in South Africa, so it's keeping the economics of that, the profit making and the money that's generated as part of this production is keeping it within South Africa. So there you have it. That's going to wrap up our discussion on South African media. Have a great day.